Hey everyone, it's Lynnea, and it's time for the August Oh So Inspired collaboration hop. So don't forget that in the video description below, you're going to find a playlist link, and this will take you to a playlist on YouTube where you can see all of the other video inspirations in this hop. So here's this month's inspiration photo, and this is from Tina over on Instagram, and there will be a link to her profile in the video description as well. So basically what you're going to find in this hop is all of the hop members have taken this card as inspiration, and you can look at it and take the color, the layout, anything that you kind of found inspiration from that card. So from Tina's card, I was really inspired by the color palette. It's a classic color palette, kind of that blue and orange, and it's not one that I use often, so I thought that I would use it. I'm also going to be using some products from Pink and Maine that have been in my stash the Stencil's been in my stash for quite a while. It's one of my most used ones. And then the stamp set's newer, but I haven't used it yet, so I thought I would pair them together. So I'm starting off with that Garden Gate stencil, and I have it placed over a piece of A2 cardstock. And then I have some Simon Hurley Create Astro Paste, and this one is Clear Skies. So it's a pretty blue color. And I'm just going to scrape this over the top of the stencil using a palette knife. This is a really nice glitter paste. I love Simon Hurley's glitter paste. They always go on so smooth. And I've had this in my stash for a couple years now, and it's still going strong. It hasn't dried out or anything, so I really love these pastes. They're pretty much the only paste that I use in my stash. I'm just using a palette knife to spread this over the Garden Gate stencil. And I do have a scraper tool from, I think it's from Thermoweb, and I should have grabbed that. It would take me a lot less time, but I had the palette knife on my desk, so that's just what I used. So once I get that all covered, I'm going to just place the cap back on my paste, and then I will peel that stencil off of my design. I'll put that stencil right into a bubble bath so that the paste doesn't set on the stencil, and then I'll set my panel aside to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that big cupcake from the Pink and Maine Deserve a Treat stamp, and then I'll color it in with my Copic markers. I am doing really basic, really easy Copic marker coloring. I usually stick to either 2 or 3 markers for each color combination. This is quite a large image, so I usually did 3 colors for the larger places, like the cake itself and the cupcake wrapper and the icing. I used 3 markers, but for the smaller areas like the flowers, I'm only using 2. So I just kind of do really easy coloring. I start with my dark, and then I'll blend out with either my medium if I'm using it, or I'll just go right to my light. I'm keeping with that color combo from Tina's card inspiration, and my favorite kind of cupcake is one with a buttercream vanilla icing. So all of my cupcakes that I color usually tend to lean towards a vanilla icing, so that's what I did, and I really thought that those orange flowers would kind of pop off of the cupcake. Then I'm going to come in with some more blue. I have blue in my background already, but I'm going to go ahead and just bring in some blue for the cupcake wrapper. I thought that it would be a really pretty color combination, and I kind of went with a peachy orange and kind of like a denim blue, so a muted blue color combo. Again, I'm just starting with my dark, and then I came in with my medium, and then I'm coming all over with my lightest blue marker. I find that gives me good shadows. There are definitely better Copic colorers online, and you can find more in-depth color tutorials. I'm pretty simple colorist. I did go back in with my darker marker and just kind of bring attention to those detail lines in the cupcake wrapper. I think that there is a coordinating die for the stamp set. If there is, I will find a link to it, and I'll leave it in the video description below. I don't happen to have it, and I'm perfectly fine fussy cutting. It's something that is relaxing for me, and something that I'll stamp a bunch of images, color them, and then I'll just cut them out with my scissors while I'm watching TV or something. But I did have some tips and tricks for fussy cutting. So you can see I'm right hand dominant, which means I'm going to cut with my right hand, and I'll hold my paper with my left. But you can see me here, my left hand is always in constant motion, and I'm just twisting and turning my paper. My scissors are staying pretty still. If you notice, I'm not using my right hand to move my scissors around. My scissors are staying pretty straight, and instead I am turning my paper. And that will give you a smoother, fussy cut image if you move your paper rather than moving your scissors. I went ahead and I grabbed an art die from my stash, and I also have some of my handmade watercolor paints. These are just some paints that I've made really easily myself, and I'm just spattering on some peachy orange watercolor. It really matches the flowers, and I just wanted to give some texture to the background. My stenciled panel is all dry, and you can see the amount of glitter in this paste is absolutely insane. I love this much glitter. So here's how my design is going to pretty much be. I cut this arch, which you saw before, and it's all spattered with my shimmer watercolor. And then I'm going to back that with a scalloped arch. And this arch is cut from the LDRS Creative Arches dies, and then the scalloped arches from the Stitched Scalloped Arch dies, also from LDRS Creative. I just kind of went into my stash and grabbed some basic shape dies. I thought that these almost looked like a display case, you know, those little glass covers that you put over cakes in the bakery. So I thought that that kind of looked like this a little bit. Then I'm going to put my cupcake in the middle of that arch with my sentiment as well. And then I'll just add all that to my card with foam tape. I did also end up going in with some glossy accents over the flowers, and I put some gems in the center of the flowers as well, just to bring a little bit of extra something to the card. I love all of the little details in this card, and I hope that you do too. Remember to check out the video description for the YouTube playlist to find all of the videos in this hop, and thank you so much to Tina for creating such an awesome inspiration piece. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!